Well, Zach, I think a lot of times in MMA there aren't really happy retirement moments, but for you, you're one of the rare ones. Can you even put into words how it feels to sit up here as a winner tonight in your hometown?
I can't. I'm trying to cry like a little baby again. We spoke earlier in the week. I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I mean, I knew this would be special, but I love this stuff. I've had so much fun having the training camp, having everything, staying healthy to get to the fight, and I got all the way to the end. Had the war that I wanted, had the finish that I wanted, had a finish and winning through weight classes in the UFC, which I know is pretty special, and hometown, the way they were, the KC fans are insane. Any sporting event here, I mean, they're so loud. They just get behind everybody, and it was so special. And I'm not going to taint that. It was fun in there. It was special, and it's time. It's time, and I couldn't imagine a better way for anybody to go out. And I can't believe it was the way I got to really hang my gloves up on this, and it's. I'm still going to take it in, but yeah, the words just can't do the feelings at all.
And before the fight, you were kind of leaning towards saying that this would be your last one, but you weren't committal. Did you come in, though, tonight actually knowing that this would be it for sure, or was it just the way things played out and just was the right way?
Well, now that it's over, I'll be truthful. I really didn't want to retire. I had two of my contract, and I heard they're coming to Kansas City, and the fight card was full. You guys know the fight card was full. They didn't know where they were going to put this thing, right? And then we kind of talked, and I was like, man, like if I got retired like that to get me on the card, that's what I'm going to do. And that's kind of like how this started, And then with everything, it just kind of started making more sense. And like when I said it, I was okay with it, and I really was, and. But I was like, man, like, my body's beat up, man. I put years and years and years. I mean, I went from tackle football to 6 years old, nonstop, all the way to, I started fighting. Like, I've been in contact sports for most of my life, and my body's pretty shot, pretty beat up, and I didn't, like, the whole goal was like, okay, I just got to get to the fight. I can fight my ass off, right? I just got to get to the fight. And I was overly impressed and surprised with how my body felt preparing for this. And then I was like, man, we can do this again, right? Like I'm having fun again. I'm enjoying it. Like I'm having the training camp. I'm doing the stuff I love to do. And then I was like, man, maybe I should just not retire and have another one. But all those feelings came back. And I, like I said, I can't imagine a better way to go out and be smart about it and enjoy this moment that most people can't get. And I don't want to ruin that by not saying goodbye.
Might be the first time we've heard a tomahawk chop chant during the fights as well. I know you knew you had a lot of fans and friends and family here, but were you even kind of surprised by the love you got?
Bro, I looked at the top and how many people's in this stadium in the arena and just was screaming, going crazy. Yeah, I knew I'd have a good reception. This blew my mind. I didn't expect this. I knew this could be a like I said, pretty special, pretty cool experience, and it surpassed every bit of expectations I had and stuff. And I think that's just, again, one more thing that just kind of made me know that this was it. It's time for me to lay the gloves down. It's time for me to, get my gym built strong and let this next generation do their thing, and I'll be on the back end side of coaching and I own my own promotion and just start pushing that stuff and continue to build this sport, in Kansas City and the Midwest with me on the back end of things instead.
And I think this was obviously a memorable moment, but what made it even more memorable was Ed retired too. I mean, we don't really have double retirement fights ever. I mean, how emotional and special was that moment to share with him?
Bittersweet. It really was. I have my emotions. I'm on top of the world right now, and I respect Ed so much. I mean, I've never said a bad thing about that guy, and just it was pretty special. And I feel like I've said special a million times so far, by the way. But was just crazy having to be able to be in there with someone like Ed Herman, who's been in this game for so long. I knew how tough he was, and man, seeing the other end of it, it broke my heart. I mean, it really did. It broke my heart seeing him, beaten and battered, and he's crying his tears, for the other end, and it just, I mean, yeah, I'm human. I'm a very emotional guy. My heart's on my sleeve. As happy as I am, it was almost equally hurting for Ed. But being able to lay our gloves down in the middle of the octagon and have a moment with him, it's a moment I'll never forget.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Zach, congratulations. Can you tell me, what's, looking back on your career, the best moment of it? This one's obviously pretty high up there, I'd imagine. Anything else that kind of jumps to mind?
Yeah, I mean, 6 years ago to the date, fighting here again. First time, that was extra. It stood out quite a bit just because it was the first time that UFC actually came to Missouri. There was whatever issues and stuff that they just would not come to Missouri and stuff. And then, they finally decided to come to Missouri. They came to Kansas City. I was pretty early on the fight card, but I was the first local to be able to fight and have that moment. First round finish. It didn't get much better than that, and I didn't have that many people out there, which was cool about tonight, but it was insanely loud. It was crazy. But more than anything, just I've been all over the world with this sport and with this company, that places I would never imagine even though it's one I lost, the experience of I was co-main event under Connor out in Dublin, Ireland, and that whole fight week, the trip and everything, the fight I fought Garner Nelson, and it really stood out of just how special the moment it was. And even though I came out on the losing end of it, I took my first loss for the UFC, so it hurt, but it definitely will. That moment and that whole experience it'll stick with me forever. It definitely was the most special one until outside of the two here at home. That's definitely for sure the ones that stood out. I mean, they all have something that stand out on them, and each fight, each opponent, you kind of leave yourself something of yourself in the cage, and you gain part of them. I feel like whenever you go to battle with somebody, so each one has its moment, but those three probably stood out the most.
Well, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Zach, pretty much from media day when we first saw you till right here, right now, it looked like you were taking everything in, right? Like I've never seen anybody walk up on media day, stop short of the table, look around for a second, and then sit down. So now that it's almost over, like the night's over and the whole week's over, like did it feel like it went by really, really fast?
No, I mean, that was something that upset me with my another moment is my debut. But yeah, my debut went really fast. Like I did the walkout, everything, and like I turned around, like, man, like it was just over. It was just super quick. So that was the one thing that as a coach I've always told these people, like, take this in, slow it down. Like, you're only going to get this moment so many times. So like really be present, and don't just kind of be in your own head and stuff. And ever since that day, I've tried to be that way. Like I had an injury that I thought ended me, in this sport. So I didn't know if I'd ever be able to do this again. And the fact that I was able to, I was gonna take in every moment, enjoy the ride. Because like we said, we were pretty sure it was gonna be the last one. And I was just so thankful and grateful that I could do this again and be here again and have this opportunity. And I wasn't gonna let it just go by me and stuff and flash by, and I was going to take it in, and I'm still doing it, and we got tonight, we're going to have fun. Yeah, it's been a trip.
I think for me, being a father myself, the best part for me was you don't have to tell stories about when you fought.
Yeah.
So at least as a 5-year-old, right? Like, you don't have to tell stories. She was right there with you, literally in there with you. So what's that like bring to you?
Well, brought some tears. I I really wanted to stay strong. All these guys retire or do stuff, and they start crying. I'm like, nah, I got this. And a little corner guy back there brought my kid in, put him in my arms, and I was like, started boo-hooing. She's 5. She really doesn't understand all this, but she knows it's pretty big, right? And as she gets older, we'll look back on this, and it's going to be a moment that we'll share and we'll have. Kind of sucks. I've got my other daughter that turns 2 in July, Sucks that, she'll miss out on this part of me and stuff, but, it's life. It's part of it. I'm really happy I got to enjoy it with one of my children. And, and she's super passionate. I don't know how the other one's going to be, right? She's super young, but this one is very passionate about this sport. She loves jiu-jitsu. She loves kickboxing. She just loves training in the gym. She loves the fighters on the team. I own a promotion. She goes and watches some, and she's just, she's all in on this stuff. And I don't know how that's going to last, but as long as I have that passion in her, like it was cool to enjoy this moment for sure. And I'm really happy that we got to share that time in the cage.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I've got one more for you. I'm here for another week. Give me the one spot to eat at, just the best one.
My favorite is right across from our hotel, which is Graham and Dunn, around the plaza. Graham and Dunn's amazing. I love it. If I'm ever traveling, if I ever come into town really to eat, that's a spot. It's amazing food.
Thanks.
Got you.
Here in the front,
Yes,
you
sir.
talked about wanting to establish KC in the MMA scene. You're a big part of that, and especially the energy that was in the building today. What does that look like? What are the next steps that you're no longer in the octagon?
I think it's just being here as a coach and a mentor for anybody that wants me in their corner, anybody that wants, to share the match, share some knowledge with me. I'm going to be here for anybody that wants it. And, like I said, I own a promotion. There's another great promotion in town that I'm friends with everybody. And, we're just, the MMA community in KC is ridiculous. There's a huge fan base here. The locals are really good. We have some great up-and-comers that are just cracked into the UFC and about to make their walk as well. And I'm just excited to be able to, to be on the back end of that and just continue to guide these guys. We've had a pretty strong presence here, and I just want to make sure that we keep that going.